Attitude's great when everything's going great. Of course, it's easy to have a good attitude then. When you got to have a good attitude is when things are not going good. When things are going bad. How did you think I felt back at that time when we didn't have any literature, we didn't have any journals, we didn't have nothing going on? Okay, we had just a couple of bottles. Okay, and my only guy that I was counting on to really make things happen left. How do you think Mark Hughes really felt? Terrible. Put in your notes. I felt bad. Now, I've signed the guy up 3 times. And I felt bad all 3 times. I'm telling you, I'm going to get him a 4th time one of these days. He's going to be one of these days. I don't know how many times it's going to take us, but we're going to get him sometime. But anyway, I felt terrible about it. 1985 came along. The FDA hit us like an atomic bomb, okay? And it was a very lonely situation when this thing happened. I mean, if you could have just imagined what was going on behind the scenes with this thing, it was unbelievable, because the attack wasn't just so much on the vitamin industry, it was an attack on Herbalife, okay? Because we were the big ones, we were the big target. I mean, in that FDA Senate hearings, there was 400 companies in there, okay? And 399 of them got 2 hours, and I got 1 day in 6 hours. Okay, and the night before, I'll never forget this, we were up in the top room of the Hyatt House, okay, and the Hyatt looked directly across at the Senate building, and they had called us up and they said, listen, Mark Hughes is not allowed to have any of his lawyers in the room, and he's not allowed to have any of his doctors in the room. He needs to come there alone. And there I was, 27 years of age, with no medical degrees, with no lawyer degrees, with no answers that were supposed to be happening in the testimony, and I was going to be sitting here in front of these senators looking like an idiot 24 hours a day on national television. And I'm sitting there scared to death, you know, scared to death. And I'll never forget, and it was Paco Perez that reminded me of this. He was my very first employee. I got Paco in the company, and yeah. Where's Paco? We were talking the other day, and he reminded me of this. He came up into my suite, and he said, listen, Mark, he says, what do you think's going to happen? I said, you know, Paco, I have no idea, but I know one thing's for sure. If we tank, tomorrow I'm going to open this thing up, and you're going to be the first guy I'm going to hire back in the company. And we're going to do it all over again.